Anything to it?
No,
No?
I just have one announcement.
One announcement,
For the
okay.
people on YouTube, and
Yep.
the warning for the informational meeting is the link for the Zoom is different than the warning that we have got from your town report, because the village changed their Zoom account. So we will be putting on our website the correct Zoom link.
Right.
So this one is wrong inside this book.
Right.
So once we get that, do you have the right link?
Yeah, it's on the warning for the joint informational meeting.
Yeah.
So tomorrow,
We would put that, share it on our, well, if you share the warning on the Facebook page, then it'll be there.
we'll have it on the website, highlight it, and it'll be out there, so.
And the other thing, the town reports are out. I don't know if we get this on camera,
Yes,
but
they are.
they're out at the local stores and businesses. Yeah.
Will be completed tomorrow, but
Okay.
they definitely, the majority of them are out.
Okay. Okay.
Recording in
All right,
progress.
folks, we're gonna call a meeting to order here at 7:02 on what day are we? Thursday, February 16th at here at the town offices. First item on the agenda is pledge allegiance. Please stand and join us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda review. Earl, an agenda review.
Nope, I'm all set.
Nicole,
No, thank you.
Kathy,
I'm good, thank you.
Joseph, you good? Brian?
I got one thing, we'll just take a moment, about the highway garage driveway for the MDU sidewalk. I don't know if that under highway.
Just put our highways, unless we got it. That's fine. Yep. That's it?
That's it.
Steve, anything? I'm good. Ed, anything?
Just under public comment,
Yep.
Jeff King, please.
That's fine. Good. Where are we here? Minutes. So here, motion to approve the February 7th regular Zoom minutes.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Public comment, anyone got anything to comment that's not on the agenda? I know you do, sir.
You're up,
Go
Joe.
ahead, yeah.
Alright. I apologize, this is long overdue,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to thank you guys for the opportunity to come to work for you. And thank you for the Christmas bonus and the pay raise. And I really appreciate it, and thank you guys for everything you've done. And it's been a pleasure working with you. And I hope
Thank you
guys are as
for
happy
being,
with my performance as I am working for you.
and thank you for being a great employee. So, love it.
That's all I wanted to say.
No.
I didn't want to take up much
No,
of your
you're
time.
fine. I appreciate you coming, it's great.
Okay,
Great to hear.
thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, thank you.
We'll see you later.
Thank you, Jeff.
Anybody else in a public comment, anything?
Yes, Don Collins, we worked with Brian to be on the agenda tonight, but I didn't know if you wanted us under public comments or where you did, what Brian did. for-
Did you add?
They're in there.
They're
Okay.
there.
They're under detailed business.
Okay, we got you on the agenda.
We are?
Yeah,
Okay.
I ain't got it in my eyes yet, but it's here. Okay, yeah, you are. You're under, Newtown Business 5. Back page. Okay, anything else for public comment? Old Town Business, amend and correct minutes from meeting from October 18th, page 6.
Excuse me, do you want the
Yeah.
animal control officer?
Oh, I skipped right over that, sorry.
And it's not in your packet,
Okay.
but I got it
We got one.
late, but
Okay.
I got one pretty straightforward
Yep.
and serious. No, he's, there you go. He's, the 104 and 106 First Street's an ongoing issue.
Okay.
One of the people, neighbors called me, I get to work early in the morning, my phone's ringing and the dog's barking.
Okay. Anybody got questions? Yep, looks good to me. Okay, so we're back to the minutes deal on October 18th minutes
Yeah.
on page 6.
What, I included a memo in your packet.
Okay.
This was picked up, Tanya and Kathy are very good.
Yep.
And they're reviewing the minutes and matching any contracts or any work that we've done to the minutes to make sure
Okay.
that it's all properly authorized. And this particular one on the library roof was not in the minutes. So we located the tape on YouTube and I transcribed what took place on
Okay.
that tape.
So it was done and it was
Oh,
voted,
yeah,
it just
it
needs
was
to be
done.
added to the
Yeah,
minutes, okay.
So,
So there's no need to vote on it again, it was already voted on, we just
right,
need to,
we're just-
the minutes didn't be
yeah,
amended, so.
just,
Okay,
okay.
you all agree with that, Joseph? Adding that to the minutes, okay. Okay, anything else under that?
No, that's that.
Okay. Yeah, I lost my folder here. Okay, update on Swanton Rec / Community Center.
And
Yep.
I don't know what
Joel,
Joel has.
yeah, he's right there. Got anything to add on that tonight, Joel? or-
I think Brian sent you guys an update toward the end of the week. I know we spoke at the end of the week and I don't have any update since then. And I think it's gonna be best to wait and Kathy's here and, I mean Betsy's here and I'll
Okay.
join her and talk with her.
Sure.
Unless you got questions for me, I mean, I could,
No, I mean, have you received the engineering work or the
they said the end of the week, so,
end of this week?
yeah,
Oh,
I think should have it by the end of the week.
okay.
And I guess the only thing I'll add is we'd agreed to a certain amount, and that was gonna be the stop point anyway.
Yep.
They're about 1/3 of what the original
Mhm.
cost was, is what they're expecting to be at when they
Yeah.
get to that stop point.
Okay.
Is where they are gonna give us a number, Joe?
Yes,
Yeah.
floor plan and a number.
Okay.
And I think the rec departments have a chance to look at that and come to the next board meeting and have a discussion.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Joel.
You're welcome.
Update on the Moyle Valley Rail Trail. You again, sir?
On that one, basically what was read to you guys last week, the agreement did come in, Brian told me, and he signed it and sent it back. I'm gonna meet with Brian tomorrow at 1:30 and do the selection for the design firm. And then we will get the approval from the state to go ahead and send a request for proposal to the design firm. And just keep that process rolling as fast as we can. It's a long, slow process. If you
Oh, yeah.
had a chance to look at that grant agreement at all, it's many, many pages
Is it?
of
27.
all the requirements that need to be done and all the references.
Oh,
Yeah, but we'll get there.
And we're meeting tomorrow.
Yes,
so-
1:30.
Yep.
Alright. Amend ATV ordinance, page 7.
Okay, the ordinance was amended, I just need your signatures on it.
Okay, you have a hard copy for us to sign?
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't, I just did a summary of what the amendment was and posted that in the 5 places.
Okay. Okay. So that's, does it have to wait 45 days like we did before? Okay, alright.
It'll be past April 1st when it takes effect, actually, but that's okay.
Oh, yep. Go back.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. That's all we needed on that?
Right.
Alright. Job description, administrative assistant
Yeah.
position. page 11.
I went in and did add about taking care of social media, and I did double check, and the perform other related work is required or assigned, is mentioned twice in the job description. Other than that, it's pretty much the same, unless somebody had something else they would like to add.
That's that back here. Signature, sir. I don't know, it looks good to me.
Okay.
I say get it advertised.
Okay, we'll get an ad done up.
Yeah.
We can
Unless
change this
anybody
anytime
else?
we want. And we can amend this anytime.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, because once you get into it, maybe one.
Yeah, we may have to
Yeah.
make some
Yep.
changes.
Good. Everybody good with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we gonna make a motion to authorize that we begin advertising for the position?
Yeah, it should.
Yeah, we probably should. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Newtown Business Real RFPs for stormwater permits, page 14.
Okay, now this is where it gets interesting.
Surprise.
You've got three proposals. One of the proposals is just strictly for the Bushy Street subdivision. And that was from the watershed contractors that Tyler Billingsley put us in touch with. And then, I sent out RF, and that one came in for, the work that's described. It does not include the permit application fee. Came in at $25,780.
That's to write the permit up, then we have to pay the fee.
Apply and pay the fee. Yeah, that's to get the permit, the engineering work all done. So that's for Bushy Street. Then, following with Cross Consulting Engineers, they submitted, I asked for both Bushy Street and Country Club Estates, and that's what they provided. This included a estimated permit fee. They would be looking at, for survey, civil design and permitting, their fees would be $26,400 and a permit fee of $3,628.
3,600?
Yeah, the permit fee.
Takes a good chunk out of a $30,000 bill.
Is that for two or one?
No, this is one.
Just for one.
This is just for one, this is for Bushy Street. And then you got their proposal for Country Club Estates, that the survey, civil design and permitting totals $27,300 and a permit fee of $7,120. Okay?
Just crazy.
Then Ruggiano, same deal, they submitted for both Bushy Street and Country Club. And total, there on Bushy Street, total estimated engineering services, $9,000. And they're looking at an estimated application fee of $3,629. That's for Bushy Street. And then for Country Club Estates, estimated engineering services of $11,000 and an estimated application fee for $7,120. Well, that's what what we've got.
Is there anything that's notably different between
Yeah.
No, it's pretty much the
Black and white.
whole, what they really do, they know better what they've gotta do than I certainly do. But, it's all, black and white.
Crazy.
Now, of course, the cost of if there's modifications and site work that's being done, that's another whole ballgame.
Yeah. So, the last one, though, basically almost all the money we planned on, how much we budget for?
30,000.
30,000,
It would cover it.
yeah,
Ruggiano's.
yeah.
Yeah.
All in, he's 12,300,
Yeah.
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 18,120 with the permit, so
Yeah.
very good.
Well, yeah, quite a bit difference.
We have no choice, we have to do this.
We should get started on it, yeah, I mean, unless there's some miracle happens in Montpelier, but I'm not
Probably
really
won't wreck on that.
No, I wouldn't plan on it. Stormwater's not gonna go away.
No, the only thing that they might, and I'm just saying this, might have luck with, but I don't know, they may bring the permitting fee down. They'll still only want the work done, but they may say, well, municipality, but that's just my idea. If they
Was
get
that the
any-
report tonight, it was on Channel 3 News, they had a big report about the fees. stormwater?
Well, I haven't seen the news yet,
I
but,
didn't see it.
Yeah.
I'll watch it, on their website
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I think it was, they talked about some type of controls.
Yeah, well, it's out of control.
Hand, sure.
Yeah. No, if they're talking about it, that's good stuff.
Well, we need to move forward with this
Yeah.
because of
There's a lot of work to be done, and
Yes.
a lot of people are doing this, so the engineers are gonna be busy.
yeah, I see some other towns are in the same boat too.
Yeah, worse than this.
Worse, yeah, higher numbers.
Yeah, much higher.
Yeah, it's all crazy.
Well, I'll make a motion that we set,
Luciano.
Ruziano's bid and, you know, we authorize the contract to be drawn up.
For both of them?
For, might as well do, we gotta do them,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
As
yeah.
long as it's within the budget, the money we budgeted, we might as well get it done.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Someone wanna second that?
I'll second it.
Alright, Joseph, you got all those numbers? If you want me to repeat them?
I can give them to him. Yeah.
Okay, alright, just to make sure it's
If
in,
you've got a packet that's in there.
yeah,
Did I give you a packet?
yeah, they're in there in the back, page 27 and I think the next one.
Also, will I have authority to sign?
Yes, in making
Yeah.
Brian authority to
That'd be
sign.
part of the motion,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
we're giving Brian authority to
Okay.
sign.
Any other discussion on that? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Saves us a lot of money going out to bid.
Yeah. Yeah, review of 2021 town audit.
Yeah, I gave that to you, well, 2 meetings ago, I
Yeah.
guess, and didn't know if anybody had any questions.
I don't.
You do?
Yeah, I just got some, first of all, it's a pretty clean audit. I mean,
Yeah.
there wasn't any big issues, but I noticed in the addendum, they had a series of recommendations in the memorandum. I think there were 6 or 7. My question was, did we implement any of it? Who does that? Your office or your office?
We kind of do it together.
Right, we talked about it.
Yeah, these are more operational, but if we don't address them, they may recite next year that they're still outstanding, and I could put a little blur on our report, so we've got, I think there's 5 I counted. So, should we ask someone to address each one of these as to where we stand, the status on them? For example,
The adjustments, they're done. The first one, he talked about adjustments, or is that the second one?
the first one is, the first one had to deal with the timing of the entries at year end.
Right,
Okay.
so what happens is, the timing on that is there's some entries that they had me do,
Mhm.
but they haven't given them to me yet.
Yeah.
So they couldn't be done until I got them, but
Oh,
now I
I
have them.
realize
No,
that,
I'm
yeah.
answering the question, so
Yeah.
now I just got them, so they've all been posted, so we're up to date on all of them.
Yeah. Okay, one of my thoughts here, and I looked at that, and I said, well, should we be talking about a policy that says that we would strive to make all the entries within 10 days of year end or 30 days of year end? Just something, so we put a time limit on it, understanding that it's sometimes beyond your control, but at least we've addressed the fact that we wanna have these books closed at a certain time. And then on, formal risk assessment, that's a good one, and it's probably gonna take a little time and a little training, and maybe that's one we should say, we'd like to get an answer on that in maybe 90 days, but that's the kind of answer I think we should
Yeah.
be.
Okay,
Okay, and then, specialists to determine the way to start accounting for all of the fixed assets and allocation of debt interest, that's a good one. Maybe that's something that, we've assigned a timetable, and we'd like to see that completed in 60 days or something like that. And then the last one, the accounting system, we recommend that consideration be given to include all of the town funds. That's a good one, and maybe your address is we've already implemented that, but at least we've got some written record that all of these have been addressed, so when they come in next year, we say, here you go.
Yeah.
And,
Good idea.
yeah, it's always, we don't wanna have anything dangling out there. And then, I had a question on, do we put our banking out for bid every so many years, 3 years?
as far as rates and stuff, or as far as,
Deposit relationships, rates, borrowing, lines of credit,
I do shop around, and so far, no one's been able to
Okay.
match or do
Okay.
better.
and I'm sure you got a good deal, I recognize the bank that you're dealing with, but I'm wondering if we formally should look at something every 3 years. We put out a bid for financial services. It might come back and whoever would get it, it helps everybody keep a little sharper pencil. And I noticed, I get into the right one here. Give me a minute. Here we go. Well, for example, deposits. You know, all the deposits are insured up to 250,000, and you can have multiple accounts, and you can get up to $1 million. But when we put larger amounts in deposits with other banks, do we have some type of collateral?
Municipalities are different. We have above and beyond what the normal FDIC offers. We're covered way beyond, we have an agreement that we sign every year for the money that we have. We're covered,
Who provides the insurance?
It's, I'd have to get the agreement.
Okay.
It's not just one, I can show it to you.
That's okay, as long as we're not exposing
We have
it.
an above agreement, and if I think for certain limits, and I know if I come close at all, I think I might, we know how much taxes we're gonna collect. So I look at it and look what we have, and if I feel we need to increase it, we'll call and they'll increase the agreement to cover us 100%, and then
I'm familiar with the agreement, I just
Yeah.
wanna make sure that we implemented it. And some institutions will look at rating the banks that they deal with. All banks have a rating, A through D. And we probably wanna make sure that we're no lower than a B or whatever. It just deals with capital requirements and things. And anytime we borrow money, if we had a master banking relationship that we renewed on a periodic basis, they would give us a borrowing rate. They would guarantee and the deposit rate for excess funds and whatever, and we could see what other banks might do. And right now, they're not paying much,
right.
but someday they're gonna have to, so we might wanna just give some thought to putting our banking relationship out every 3 years and give them a list of what we're looking for, so that they all come back hopefully with the same stuff. Yeah, that's, and the other thing I didn't quite get my hands around, I didn't have enough time, but the municipal retirement fund, I saw a reference in here, what we have to contribute, I think. And depending what you use for a discount rate, do we have to contribute every year for our employees for the retirement fund?
Yes, it's a municipal retirement, so
Yeah.
they do a certain portion, they do a rate, a certain percentage of their pay, and they do 5.875%, and we're doing 6.
Okay, that's the discount rate, I noticed in here it's 6. But
6.
is that a budgeted item, where we,
Yes,
okay, whose budget does it come out of?
well, that comes out of each department, so the highway has a retirement line,
okay.
item expense, and the general fund, and the library does too.
Okay, thanks, that's all I have.
You know, based on salary.
Right.
Yeah. And the discount rate, it's been really effective.
So at the end of the year, what I do is when I take the overall salaries, and I know exactly, the rate changes every July 1st, and they give us a proposed rate that they're thinking it's gonna be.
Yep.
So I usually base the retirement from January till June 30th, and then I bump the rate up for half the salary for the rest of the year to make sure we're covered, because the rate changes mid-year, not beginning or end of the year.
Good.
And they give us a projected on it.
Better control than I have at the state.
Yeah.
Only 5 million underwater.
Anything else, Steve?
No, that was good, thanks, Pat.
All right. Use of messenger for zoning and planning legal notices. That's what Amy's doing here. You just can't get away from
I'm
this.
sick of these meetings.
Yeah, you get tired of it.
I brought a visual.
We like to see you.
Yep.
Ma'am?
Anybody else you have one?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll take one.
Okay, so if you see on this, there's the, I'd like to revisit the who we're noticing.
Advertisement.
Yeah.
Yep.
The 15th day is Wednesday. That's when it's gotta be noticed for the meeting on the 23rd.
Yep.
So to use the courier, I have to warn on Monday, the 30th, to get it in the paper by Thursday, so it meets the 15th day. And the messenger is the next Monday, and then it prints Tuesday. So I warned the meeting on Monday, and I had a call on Tuesday. Somebody wanted to come before the board in February.
Mhm.
This is just gonna keep happening if
Mhm.
we continue to use the courier.
Mhm.
And I just don't think it's fair to,
No, I don't think it is either. I mean, we gotta try to be as.
I mean, the
user-friendly.
messenger is more expensive, but I think we need to make our taxpayers happy.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm here.
When you're talking more expensive, I mean, what's it gonna be, another $500-600 a year?
No, it's, the county courier charges $28, and the messenger charges $98 per,
$98?
yeah.
What's the
Sometimes
circulation?
more.
What's the circulation of the both of those papers?
I don't know if the messenger, the prints anywhere during the week. There's
Messenger.
one or
Twice.
The
Yeah,
messenger
twice,
is
Tuesday
Tuesday and
and Friday.
Friday,
Yeah.
and then the courier's on Thursday.
Do you know how many subscribers they have, or how many papers they sell then?
I don't know anymore what the
Yeah.
difference is, yeah.
No, but the idea here is
Yeah.
that
Well,
this
you
is gonna give more time for people to come in.
That's
and
right.
propose.
And get on the
got
agenda.
another
You
whole
know,
week.
I mean,
Right.
we're losing a whole week's worth of time just
Mhm.
because of who we're warning.
Yeah.
I think we switched last year,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I've had issues with that since we
Mm-hmm.
switched.
I think we should go back to, I entertain a motion to go back to the messenger.
Yep.
In figure, I know it's more money, but.
I know.
Now, are we
It's-
gonna make a motion to go back to the messenger just for this, or how are we gonna do this? Because right now, I think we had made a motion before to go to the courier as our official, because everything was gone in the courier.
Yeah.
So I can still warn
Mhm.
public hearings for bylaw changes through the courier.
Yep.
Because
Yeah. It's not time pressing, like the
Exactly.
DRB. I think that the DRB should be warned through the
Is there
messenger.
another issue here? Does a town or a municipality have to have one that they use as their designated one? So people wanna know what's going on, they would get that paper.
Right,
And if we're
that-
doing it in one paper and back in the other,
You gotta
then
use
we
one.
gotta expect them to get two
It's gonna
papers.
cost a lot more money, but you gotta use one.
Yeah.
Because like warning,
Right.
people
They're
get used to
gonna
it
be
being in the
looking for
messenger,
things
they've
in
been
the
looking for it in the
messenger,
messenger,
right,
not in
right.
the courier, so then it's in the courier,
Yeah.
and not, then you're gonna hear about it, if I didn't see it because it wasn't.
I understand the move to go to the courier was for saving the money, but, you know, this is having an effect of, you know, it's
Right.
caused some commotion.
Well, it's gonna be good, better customer service if we go with
Right.
messenger.
And it's not making my life any easier.
But if we're gonna do
Using the
this,
messenger.
if we're gonna do it for the development review board, then I think we should
Across
we
Across the board.
should just bite the bullet and do it across the
All
board.
our advertising from now on will be done through the messenger then. Good. I'll entertain a motion to make that, answer, so.
Hoping at some point,
Yeah,
the state will say, because everybody's having to
Do away
draw
with it,
a
yeah.
newspaper.
yeah, that could change in the future, yeah.
I'll move, James. All right, I'll get a second.
I'll
on that.
second it.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. Representatives from the MBU School District. Over the budget.
Would you like us to come up there? or-
You sure can. It's up to you.
Let's go.
And if there's any more chairs and all, then share it up if you want.
I'll sit next to Brian.
There you go.
He doesn't bite.
No,
So when the school board started, by the way, I'm Don Collins, I'm the vice chair of the MBSD board, while McCollister, longtime business manager. When we talked about this at the board meeting, people thought it was a great idea to come forward and do this. We used to do it in the old days,
That's right.
Earl was chair of the board. And so there were 5 people coming. Well, when the date came out, 3 of them had other commitments. So you're lucky to have Laura. You're not particularly lucky to have me, but you have Laura. I talked to Brian, and I think Brian's message was, let's be informal and quick. So we don't necessarily need to be quick, but probably most of you remember that about 5 years ago, we had a nice little Swanton School District. We had a Mississippi Valley Union High School District. Well, the state, in its wisdom, and I say that with a smile because I was opposed to the idea, decided we had to merge. So between the merger and the pandemic, we've had about 4 years of hell. helped somewhat by ESSER funds, but hindered by ESSER funds too.
Did we ever save any money like they told us we were going to?
We haven't figured that out yet.
Tax rates are lower.
Yeah, the taxes are lower, yeah. But saving. It depends which town you sit in, to probably figure that out. But overall, I will say this, the board works very well together. I had a little skepticism. Swanton is the largest population, but when we're at the table, we're all equal. And I don't particularly find that frustrating, but sometimes it can be. But what Laura and I decided that we'd give you a fact sheet and we'd go through it. Because otherwise, I'm inclined to ramble and we'll be off somewhere talking about railroad crossings or swimming pools in the rec center. So I think we have enough for everybody around the table, Laura.
I think so. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I would like to note that the informational videos that you guys have been putting out are really nice. You guys do a great job with them.
We have no shortage of paper in our business. There's no shortage of paper. Helped by the legislature, and I can't take all the blame, I'll give some to Brian, but it seems like legislature loves to take and require more. Okay, so, if Laura, if you want to start walking through this, I'll give it up to the chair. We can take questions as we go along, or we can wait until the end. That'll be up to you. So, Laura, why don't you launch into this?
Okay. So the proposed budget is a little over 44 million that you can see. Actually, I want to back up, sorry. Our enrollment is steady. I think that's what we wanted to start with. A lot of school districts in the state are seeing a reduction in enrollment. We are not. So even though your tax rate is calculated on something called an equalized pupil, our enrollment is steady in our schools, and that's really important. The proposed budget.
I have a question on that,
yeah.
because of equalized pupils. How many actual students are in the school, and what is our equalized population?
So there's 1,771 students. Obviously, that's fluid and it changes on any given day, but
Yeah.
that's our October 1 number that you're familiar with. And then if you look on, you'll get one of these after, but our equalized pupil number is 1,774.60.
So there isn't much, we're not increasing much then.
No, they're two different things. One is enrollment, actual bodies and heads in a
Yeah.
school. Equalized pupil has a lot of different weighting factors, one of them being poverty. One of the biggest ones is being poverty. And there's some things that are, the schools are providing free meals right now, part of Universal Meals Program at the state level, and that has impacted the amount of people filling out free and reduced price hot lunch applications. Not as many people are because they're already getting the benefit. So we're not getting that poverty weight, which is why our equalized pupil dropped. So our enrollment is steady, but the extra weight you get for each one of those students because of poverty is actually down, even though our poverty level didn't change. And the state is working on that, like how to address that across the state, not just for us.
That affects
How much it affects your tax rate ultimately.
And there's a legislation that was passed, actually been working on it for a decade. I think it takes effect next year's budget.
Act 127.
And it's gonna change the weighting. It took the legislature, particularly the Senate, probably 2 decades to figure out that places like Chittenden County would be treated better than rural areas, if you can imagine taking that long. But the weighting study says there are other factors. We aren't going to be helped or hurt much, we might be helped a little bit, but it's not, we didn't have a significant impact. But there were places that did. Earl raises a good point, I don't want to take away from Laura's presentation, but sometimes no good deed goes unpunished. When the state and feds decided to provide free meals, and I think it was called universal free meals, that was wonderful. We were in a struggling time, we had the pandemic. But what that did was discourage a lot of parents who had filled out the forms before to fill out the forms. Without the paperwork, we can't count them, so we get hurt on the weighting. You can see there's only three difference.
Yeah.
It should be 10, it should be more. I don't know how the highest was, but in my mind, it's been reduced significantly because a good deed was done during a time, and the legislature didn't finish the process, they said. So we get burned by it, and some of this is federal, most of it's federal. All right, Laura.
The good news about that is that hopefully for the next couple of years, that will get corrected and our enrollment is steady, so the tax rate will have a positive impact from that. It won't continue to be negative, so that's the good news. So overall, this budget has an increase of about $4.2 million. This year, the board, and last year, had launched a community survey to gain budget input. That's a really important part of our budget development process now. So actually, on 2 different occasions, one at a board meeting and one virtually. I don't know if any of you received it, if you were a parent in the community or on some other email list. But it basically just said, what should be the priorities for the school budget this year? The board really wants to know, and it might have said, do you think technology is important, or is it capital investments, or what is it? And they really took that information and kind of guided their budget development from it, so that's really how we kick off our budget process. The other important thing to note, and this is with all budgets, I know, well, school budgets, about 73% of the budget is made up of salaries and benefits, so, you know, that's obviously the biggest impact to our bottom line. Major factors, really this year there were no additions to the budget other than these few factors. So MVU roof replacement phase 2, we were able to complete phase 1 of the roof. It's going to be actually 6 total phases. It's a huge round roof that currently has a membrane that is no longer a material that is used. There's not even anyone that will work on it.
Maybe I got another
yeah.
question then, because I know MVU at one time had its own capital. But is that all done now?
We used last year, last year was the first phase. And
We did not use the capital fund though. The capital fund did not have enough. It was about $100,000 a year. I think that was put away for a few years, so that was used for things like repairs on the roof, but it was not enough to address actually replacing the roof.
All right, you're not using any of it this
It's
year?
gone. It's gone.
It's gone,
Yeah, it's been
and no
utilized.
more, there's no more such thing just for MVU because of the merger.
Yeah.
I think that I think the board, I don't want to speak for the board, but I think the board realized that that probably wasn't a strategy that would accumulate enough funding to actually replace that kind of a roof. So they looked at a different strategy, and that strategy was adding line items to the budget to do it in phases so that we could avoid a bond, because bonds are difficult to pass in smaller communities, and the interest rates on bonds are not good right now either, so.
Phase 2, the last phase?
No, there's gonna be 6.
6 phases. Every year is gonna be a phase.
So this is the second one, would be next year.
The one thing about this, Earl, this is, as we talk at our board meetings, this is kind of a baseline year for the roof, because previously last year, we brought forward funding that we had, and so we did one section. And so we didn't add it to last year's budget, we were able to look at other funding for the system. So this is the first one's in the budget. It'll continue, but it won't double this time. I mean, next year, probably look, depending on how the bidding goes, or how the materials go, it'll probably stay about the same. But there is one section eventually that will be more. But it's quite a project.
But it won't continue to be an addition to the budget. One of the biggest factors in this budget is increased investments in staff salaries and wages. MVSD has been one of the lower paying school districts in the state of Vermont for both support staff and professionals. They are both union agreements through the NEA.
Another question,
Okay.
is that strictly salary or does that include benefit?
This is just salaries right
Okay.
here. Yeah, this bullet point is just salaries, and that's about 1.3 million. Teacher contract is currently negotiated, but there has been a very strong intent from the school board to retain high-quality staff and reduce turnover, and therefore improve student outcomes. Has been a really big roadblock. We turn over about 40 teachers a year right now, which is almost impossible to make student gains when you're doing that. So that's one of the things that the board is working on. Next is benefit increase cost. I'm sure the town is feeling this too, or probably in every private sector imaginable, but it's about $800,000 of the increase is from increased benefit costs, which is about 19%. We had over a 12% increase that we're gonna see to premiums again this year. It was about 5.5 last year, and 10 the year before, and 13 the year before that, so.
This is healthcare.
Yeah, it's just continuing to grow, but for school districts, I'm not sure about municipalities, it's negotiated at the state level as far as how much the employer pays and how much the employee pays. It's an 80-20 split right now. I'm not sure if towns are the same way, but school districts across the state are all the same.
Yeah, through the entire state.
Entire state, and we are not part of that negotiation. Yeah, so it's basically a cost that's kind of handed to us.
So since this has happened, the cost has even gone up more than it used to.
I'm gonna, before we move to the next one, Earl, when you were on the board and anybody else that served on a school board, there was a time when you were negotiating, you looked at and maybe improving the benefits while holding on the salary, or saying we can't increase benefits, but we'll put another 100 on the base. And again, and I'm not against the legislature, I enjoyed that time there, but it was decided that the state would negotiate the health insurance benefits because it would save. ha, ha.
I was just gonna say, did it really say?
And we lost the negotiating tool, bargaining tool.
Well, one thing for certain, they're consistent.
That's true. And the other thing I'm sure you guys are seeing this is just general inflation from everything from transportation to every single contract, every technology that we purchase, everything has gone up. Transportation in particular has doubled in some cases, not for our students being delivered to and from school, but some other transportation that we provide, so. But really, those are the only major factors, I think that's really the point. A lot of them we don't have necessarily a lot of control over, but there were no additional positions or anything like that. The other thing, moving on, is the spending per equalized pupil that we were talking about earlier. So that is proposed to be $19,149. That's an increase of about $2,700 from last year. I think it's important to note that that's still below the state average, or the proposed state average for next year, by over $1,000. So we're not even in the middle, we're still in the bottom half. Equalized tax rate, so this is the tax rate prior to the common level of appraisal or the house property values being applied. It would be $1.23 or 1.2371. It's nearly flat. For next year, it's up only 0.03 of a cent. It's actually gone down, which is important to note. It's gone down the last couple years since we merged, and now it will be flat, or just about flat.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do, the budgets are going up. What is causing that to stay? Is it because of the CLAs or whatever the heck it is?
This is not, the CLA is not applied to this yet. The yield has a lot to do with it, and our own revenues have a lot to do with it, and the equalized pupil number. So all three of those things are working in a positive direction for us. The yield is the level that set by the state, and that's just a projection right now, but that's how they calculate how much money they're gonna need to fund the ed fund, and right now they're anticipating a high amount of revenue to come into the ed fund above and beyond school district funds, and so the yield is up significantly.
The yield's a big factor.
It's a huge factor.
You know, with that, the yield is a big factor. For years, some legislators pushed to get that out early. Wouldn't it be nice to have it in February? We'll get it in May.
So the equalized tax rate is on a home value of 200,000, which I think we need to start using a bigger number because that's probably not high enough anymore, but that's kind of the standard increase of approximately $6. So before CLA, the school budget's impact on your tax bill is about $6 if your home is worth 200,000. Then we get into the common level of appraisal, and I'm sure this board has already talked about the detrimental CLAs that have come in, but they're down significantly in all towns. Swanton's down about 5%. So anywhere between, that impact is anywhere between 7 cents and 11 cents to your tax rate. So really detrimental when those fall below the 85%, which some of ours are. But basically what it means, and maybe you already know this, but home values and sales have been very high, and so the CLA continues to drop until we have a reappraisal. That hasn't happened, and so that causes our tax rates to go up to put more money into the ed fund.
What do we do for the next reappraisal?
My understanding is that reappraisals across the state are significantly overdue.
But when are we though?
The property valuation and state Montpelier determines which towns have to just do their appraisal. They send out a notice. Right now, there's quite a few, I think there's over 40 or 50 right now that have been asked to do a reappraisal.
Yeah.
But there's also a swing on that, there's gonna be a change on who's gonna be doing it.
Yeah, there's a discussion.
Yeah, there's a discussion on things may change, so until they figure out what they wanna do, it's kind of in limbo.
They may be making that happen at the state level, which
Yeah.
I'm not sure would be necessarily a good thing.
Steve, if you'd like to get rich quick, tomorrow, form a corporation, start doing appraisals. I've talked to a couple of towns where I do consulting work, and there are not nearly enough qualified people doing it. There's a big backlog. And you don't want a backlog, what's that says? Raise the price.
Yeah.
So basically, our point here being that your house is worth more if you sell it, but unfortunately that means a higher education tax right now, but the school district doesn't, again, have any control over that. It's not something that has to do with spending, it has to do with home values.
On the backside, Laura did something really good when we talked about how they want to make this simple and everything. So Laura, why don't you go do this one?
So really the takeaway from this little chart on the back is just showing you exactly what I just talked about, but
I think sometimes in the last couple of years or since the merger, people are confused that our equalized tax rate for all of our towns that make up MVSD, so Franklin, Highgate, and Swanton, the equalized tax rate is all the same. So for next year, it's proposed to be $1.23 or 1.2371. That's an increase, as I said, of just that 0.0032 cents. So that's the same on all three towns. Then when you apply the common level of appraisal in each town, which is different in each town, then that's when you get a discrepancy in your taxes. People have in the past, since we merged, gotten their tax bills and they're confused as to why, if they own property in Highgate, why it's different than it is, and then we explain that it's after the CLA is applied that changes that.
Yeah, it's kind of a complicated system, but, you know, when you talk about these common levels of appraisal, I mean, even if we went up to 100%, so that we're assuming, we'll just say in reality, it doesn't happen that way. You know, every property's gonna go up 11%, but if your property goes up and the tax rate stays the same, you still pay more in taxes.
If your property value went up, yes,
Right.
that's the thing.
So, you know, I mean, a lot of what we're paying in taxes really is driven by the budget. You know, whether, you know, and I know because of the way they do it here in the state of Vermont, it makes it even more complicated, and there's some instances probably where that's not true, but in general it is. But I do agree with the school board trying to pay our teachers more money, and I'm willing to
We
bite
were
the
the
bullet on
lowest.
that.
You know, when I came to this county in 1983 in Fairfax in Georgia, Fairfax in Georgia wanted to pay Chittenden County salaries because they didn't want to lose their teachers. Then I came here on the board, and we were losing teachers to Enosburg and Richmond and Elbert. So we aren't there yet, but we're in a much better place. And the other thing the board has done that pleased me is that we have a lot of people that work there, hourly rate employees. They're good local folks, many of them. And for years, they didn't make much at all. And it wasn't because we didn't want to pay them, we just felt couldn't. But over time, I think we've raised that last year, and then we're in negotiations again. So, you know, it's hard, but I think the board really works together to try to do the best they can. And when we go through all of our steps and Nora gives us the first draft, everybody looks at it like, no, let's get over the shock, because it is a shock. But, and Earl, you know, having served on the board, a lot of things that you'd like to do, you can't do, and a lot of things you didn't really care to do, but somebody told you by law, so.
Have the test scores follow the salary increases?
Our scores in some areas have increased, but they haven't increased at the same rate as salaries.
So they're not tracking.
We are tracking, but they aren't, I don't think we have any information that would say that they are.
I think they're definitely trending up. There are a lot of factors because of the pandemic and having students not be in school that are definitely playing a role right now, a very significant role across the state, across the country. Yeah.
I mean, the flip side of having the better salaries is, I think if you're gonna get people to support that, you're gonna have to have some way where, you know, there's some accountability.
Absolutely.
You know, that's gonna be easy for people to understand. If you can do that, I think you can change the education around quite a
We've done a
bit.
lot of work at the administrative level with Julie and the principals and people, accountability, if you're gonna work here. And I'm getting off topic here, so shut me down, Steve, you raise an issue. One of our biggest challenges with test scores is truancy. The students who come on a regular basis and are 90% plus attendance, if you can break that out, they're doing well, and I'd say subjectively, they're doing better. But the students who don't come to school, and it's not just us, it's a national problem. I was very concerned about it. I worked with a guy named Jeff Benet, even when I was a superintendent over in Franklin West, and it had been going on for years. And so the superintendent's office collected data, and even though I'm concerned about our kids' absenteeism, we were better than St. Albans and a number of other places in the region. It's just students don't seem to come to school. And it's not just high school. You know, I see it here in the village. Kids out 10 o'clock in the morning riding their bikes in May. I stop them and say, did you have school today? Oh, my tummy hurt, oh, my mother didn't wake up, or I gotta go to my grandmother's. It's like, man, we're paying good money to send you to school. So if we could solve that one, Again, all the kids that come in on a regular basis, our test scores are low.
We are currently investing some of the ESSER dollars in truancy specialists and homeschool coordinators and positions like that to try to really work with families to make that happen.
I don't know about you, but if I'd have told my father I don't feel well, go to school, he'd say, okay, I got a job for you. 10 hours later picking stones, I probably would want to go back to school.
Yeah.
But that's not the world we live in.
No.
So anyway, that's an overview, and
We're just gonna leave these here
Laura has
with you.
another handout.
There is a budget summary on the back.
All right.
Yep.
Welcome, those, and we're gonna question those out to the public, and if you have questions,
Oh, one other thing, we gotta do something different, because, this meeting, information meeting, the same night as ours.
I know, Earl, and you and I remember, you come in for the town, and I come in for the school, and Neil would come in for the village all one night.
Yeah.
And once we went to this MVSD joint, we lost that.
Yeah.
But we do need to work on it.
Yeah.
I don't-
Well, even just to coordinate, so we don't both have the same meeting on the same night, because our informational meeting's on the same night as you guys, so it's kind of.
Yeah, we
And
used to
it's
do it
because our
together.
It
board-
was nice when the school board came to the meeting, but I understand they probably
And
don't do that anymore, so.
In this,
Well, the reason we don't, Jim, is because we are now not a Swanton school board.
Yeah,
We got,
right, I understand that, but,
But-
the other towns still have traditional town meeting day, don't they?
Franklin does,
I think Highgate is, again, this year, they didn't because of the
they're
pandemic.
back
for a
on the
while,
floor,
yeah.
yes.
yeah.
So, I mean, Swanton's really the only one that has an informational meeting.
But we have to have a MVSD.
Yes, you do, but
Yeah.
we should be able to get a date when it wouldn't be
We'll
the
appoint a
same
committee of
time.
two, you and I,
Alright.
and we'll solve it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll solve it.
because it's, you know, I mean, it isn't really fair if people wanna go to both.
How many people wanna go to both?
Well, even if it's one.
Me? I'd love to go to both.
Earl, I'll give you $1 for everyone that comes to our meeting, if you'll give me $1 for everyone that comes to your meeting.
That's about it.
Well, you
$20
never know.
bill's gonna cover it.
You know,
But-
if we don't offer people the option,
Yeah.
you know, it's gonna
And
get
we've talked
worse.
about that, we have talked about that, and I think you talked with someone about it too.
I did, and I did email all of you, respectively to Swanton, just because I would love to see more and better communication between the school district and the local governing boards, as I think it's very important for the growth of our community in general. So I appreciate that this was put together, I'm very happy to hear that you guys are here tonight, and I was very happy with the responses I received from those representing Swanton.
So we have a public relations plan, PR plan, and way to get information out to people. That's what we need to do, because this is a real benchmark. We don't fix that roof for $1 million,
Yeah.
which is about, what percentage of our budget?
It's about 25%
Kind
of
of
the
a budget
increase.
increase. You know, there's some things, we cut, if you think this was a budget we had now, we have really held the line without trying to hurt instruction. But if the budget doesn't pass, we're still gonna fix the roof. So.
We have to.
we're hoping to-
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
leaking, so.
Good.
I would just say the last thing, please check out our Facebook page or website, because we are investing a lot of time, as Don just said, in putting all the resources there. There's a construction tab, there's an ESSER COVID fund tab, there's always information there, something we're really working on, and then the Facebook pages too, so please follow
JR's
us.
doing a great job.
He is, yeah.
But anything that you can do to communicate what's going on in the school, what the problems are and what's successful, is what you need to try to do. It's always been a struggle to do that, but you gotta do it.
I want to talk about one program before we leave, and when you said that. The agriculture program, which at one time was one of the best in the state, might have been the best, but Virginia's had a good in other places. They have all gone away, pretty much.
Why is that, Don?
Why is that? Well, the agents of education and some bureaucrats, in fact, 10 years ago when I was in the Senate, I invited them to come to MVU. And they couldn't believe the good things that the kids were doing, the students were doing, they were kids. And they said, this is great, we want to help you, and we want to get this message into other places in the state. Probably not in Chittenden County, but up in the Northeast Kingdom. Over in Lake Region, they had a good program. Virgins, down in Leland and Gray, I think Brattleboro area, anyway. But as the time, people change there, the old timers retired, the new people go, oh, that's a thing of the past. Dairy is dead, you know, and you gotta be raising raspberries, and you gotta do a lot of really good things, okay? And so they really did support agriculture the way they should. And in the legislature, even the ag committees, as good as the people were, they weren't pushing a lot, they weren't supporting Vermont Tech like they did 30, 40 years ago. And then what we found was colleges aren't training them. How many years have we had vacancies we couldn't fill? 3, 4, 5? We'd advertise. 2 years, not this last year, I think we figured it out, but 2 years ago and 3 years ago, we hired people. We hired them in April and May. They came here, they were all excited. July, one of them, I think it was August, they called and said, I just got an offer over in western New York, and I'm from the Plattsburgh area, and I'm going. And so we had to scramble, and we didn't always be able to fill them. But we have 2 ladies who are going through a program for a teacher through apprenticeship, but you take courses through Vermont Tech, and then you do get work experience.
And one gentleman.
And one gentleman, right, he was there for a while, Joe was there for a while, and our ag
No,
program.
another one.
And another one, but Jim Messier's still there. But,
He's as old as the school.
what's that?
I said, he's as old as the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing that really impressed me, FFA, we had students, of course, it used to be Kansas City, but it's now Indianapolis.
Yeah.
They came and presented, and those guys were a hoot. But they talked about they're gonna get other students, and Dan Palmer, the new principal, who was a middle school principal and used exploratories, is really behind it. He's formed a committee, I represent the board, and Joanne Johnson from Franklin has also joined it. But I, as an FFA member and a 4-H member, it just makes me feel good that we're giving young people an opportunity.
It's very important, that program.
It is. It saves a lot of youngsters who aren't maybe inclined to go off to
Absolutely.
college.
Yeah.
And we use the Northwest Tech Center, but we have some other good programs. And you all know, at least I know, if I had been able to work with my hands, I wouldn't be where I am today. You got to be able to not just read a book, so it's good. All right, I've rambled. You want to say anything else? You want to say anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
for bringing this to us. Have a good night.
Thank you, Brian. We weren't quick, Brian, but we.
Well, no,
Not bad at all.
well, $44 million, I think you got out of here pretty easy.
Community economic development, maybe too. Is that what you're doing there?
Yeah. What I did was just gave a brief rundown of what I've done in the economic development part since the first of the year, and then I'm planning on going forward to July to December, by the second board meeting next month. We've gotten year to date and what's planned next week, and what is happening.
I'm sure he's a good follower, I said, when the conservatives didn't follow, when that came to the door, normally, but I hope you do well. Because we need somebody that's out there with.
How did the tour with Green Mountain Knitting go?
Very nice.
Are they up and operational?
They are.
99%, are they, something like that?
Something like that. They are. They've got about 12 employees,
Yeah.
which is, they hope to get up to around 20, maybe more than 20. They're running into the same problem that everybody does. They come in, they get the application in, they call them for an interview, and they don't show up to the interview. Everybody's at that problem.
Because they don't want to work.
And, but it's very impressive. They had the machines going, and they
And
do.
you're eager to be part of the community too.
Yes, very much so.
Very eager.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Brian, I just had one question tonight. The MVU sidewalk, that's been going on for 20 years probably.
Almost, but not quite.
Is that something that
Yeah.
we can put on hold, or are we obligated to that?
Well, I would hope we won't put it on hold after we're all the way, as far deep as we're into it now.
Okay.
We're into our second engineering firm to finish the design so we can put it out to bid.
Do
And
we
we
have,
have $600 and something thousand in grant money to put towards the project.
do we have property rights or,
No,
That's what they're working on right now. That's the next hurdle
Yeah.
to
They have to get the right of way.
easements and right of way, whatever they need.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So last we knew of, it should be, going out to bid next year.
Yeah.
And,
To be completed this summer, I think was the original intention.
that was the original, but
So-
it'll be completed in 2025.
No, but the actual design and
Oh,
all the
the
engineering
design,
work will
yeah.
be done this year. So it can go out to bid beginning of next year, so we can get good qualified contractors when they're all hungry for work. You know, they said maybe it'd be close this year to get it out, but you don't put something out in the
We
middle
don't
of
know.
summer because then it'll be real high.
We don't know about the easements.
That's why, where it's headed,
Yeah,
you know, what can happen there.
That could be interesting,
yeah,
Yeah.
see what happens there.
yeah. So,
Some of those folks are gonna be walking right underneath the living room window.
Close, but not too close, but, yeah,
Oh, maybe,
yeah.
now that we own that property, or no, we don't own that property, that's why
No.
you should get together again.
Yeah, we revisit that issue.
Yeah, because that would make more sense than trying to send them by those streets now, that are right, even if it changed design. Maybe you should get a hold of, Mr.
Ralph?
Well,
We haven't heard nothing back from him.
No, he's busy building a house.
and, well, we're looking at this because it comes under that, the website project. You know, when you get that website stuff running back up, Brian, would we be able to get this packet electronically before the meeting?
This, we do.
I don't get,
You get the agenda.
yeah, I get the agenda, but yeah, all,
The
Everything
information,
should be.
you get the orders, but this wasn't in it.
right, this.
No,
was
that's
done
right, not all the
today.
pages, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we could try to, maybe with an administrative assistant,
Yep,
we can take a stab at it.
yeah, because, you know, we used to get this stuff in the mail. Used to get mailed out before the meeting. It'd be
That's
nice,
old school, oh my God.
I know it's
It costs us
old
$30 to
school,
be
but
on
you
this
know,
town.
if you realize, well, you know, well, don't.
But we don't,
spend it,
honestly, Laura, it never gets you in time with the mail. Take
I ain't
4
worried
days,
about that, I'm
that's
not
long.
saying mailing it, but I'm saying electronically.
Right,
Yeah,
we could do that probably now if I had everything here.
yeah.
I just do a PDF copy, scan it, and then send it.
I think, if I understand it, we have an organizational meeting after our new board members
Yep.
come on.
Yeah.
One of the things I've got written down here to talk about is the delivery of the data for the meeting. And maybe we could ask for a discussion where we could try to get everything out the Friday before the meeting. I think we can do it, it's gonna take some time, say we spent, give everybody 3 months' notice, but at the end of 3 months, we'd like to have you have that available to us. So you got the weekend to look it over, get back
That's a
in
good
touch
idea.
with Brian, and
Yeah.
that ought to be one of our objectives this year.
Because it, let's see, how can I put this? To prepare the agenda, and I do send that out on usually Thursday or
Yeah.
Friday
Yeah.
before the meeting. That takes like 2 hours or less.
Yeah.
Okay, whereas, when I was observing and training, it was a 2-day event. So, well, putting this packet together this morning I had done in an hour and a half. It was done, copied and whatnot, so we can certainly strive, as long as I get the information in a
Yeah.
timely manner.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you gotta collect it, whether.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's just it, yeah.
I mean, there's gonna be instances where that's not gonna happen, I understand that, but the majority of this stuff we could be looking at before
Right.
we got here.
So, I
We
don't-
could, we could say as of May 1st.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
and
the
then,
date is, but.
yeah, we don't have to wait for the website to come up, I mean,
No.
this is, we got the equipment
You need-
here to do it.
But it'll probably be easier to do when you have some extra help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to
No, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Anything else under economic development, community economic development? Highway. Oh boy, here we go. Joel's leaving, he's bailing. Alright. So back to the truck. We did call 3 different dealerships for other estimates. We called Champlain, Peterbilt, Green Mountain, Kentworth, and we called the Sheldon Trucks in a 9 truck, never renamed it yet, cause it's getting
Thank
taken
you,
over.
Joel.
Sheldon Trucks couldn't get us an estimate because of the transfer of the business, they said it'd be 2 weeks to a month.
Sheldon International?
Sheldon trucks, no,
No, they're Mac.
they're Mack and
Okay.
Volvo, yeah.
Yep.
Green Mountain Kentworth said all they do is throw out a number, but they can't get the truck to make a town truck, the style truck we need. But they said the cab and chassis is about 170,000, so they're a little more than, they're about 10,000 more than the cab and chassis from Charlie Boys. And Champlain Peterbilt never got back to us with a price, and we asked them and told them I had to have it by today, and so we did try our hardest to get a couple another price, and we didn't succeed. Other than the ballpark number of the truck, so I mean, they are a little cheaper if you look at it that way, but. So that being said, my proposal is that, as I said before, the truck is $261,150. If we take the 50,000 we got in the truck fund now, the 50,000 we got this year going in there, and the 50,000 next year, because we won't see the truck till next summer. That's 150,000. And
You have to raise another
yeah,
10.
well, so this is my proposal. I wanna take $100,000 from the ARPA funds to put towards the truck.
You only got 400,000 left.
Yeah. And then we're gonna sell the old truck when this new one comes in, so it'll generate, I'm gonna guess $25,000 to $50,000.
You think so?
The minimum is supposed to get at least 25,000. That's cheap. I mean, these trucks aren't selling for big money, but. And if it was a,
That particular model is gonna be difficult to sell too.
oh, I know it is, yeah. No,
Are we 100% sure that the ARPA funds can be allocated for that?
I know, he
As
used
part of the-
about anything under the sun he can
Right.
use for now, so, yeah.
But by doing that, I mean, I agree with what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But by doing that, we're gonna deplete our reserves,
Yeah.
and we're gonna look into the ARPA fund. Based on all the needs that we are gonna define here, should we take a little more money out of the ARPA fund and replenish that reserve rather than going after
No,
it?
you can't do that.
Can't do
No.
that, but no, we'll be okay though, because, so then once, we're gonna use 24's money from our truck replacement fund, so then you'll start in 25, it'll start replenishing itself.
Okay, all right.
I mean, granted, it's gonna take you 5 years to get another
Increase that.
$250,000 to buy another truck, but at 20,
Increase that.
my theory was, running the highway department, was that we need to buy a new truck every 5 years.
That's
Or we're gonna, and basically your oldest truck's gonna be 20 years old, to buy a new truck every 5 years, which is, pushing it.
No, it's good.
So,
No, that's a good schedule.
and,
You know, we're gonna have to
I mean, we
consider
do have
raising.
5 trucks now, cause we have a spare one, so, which has been a great
Consider
thing.
Raising that 50,000 in the future.
You may have to,
Yeah.
yep, we definitely may have to if the prices keep increases, but, I mean, it was only 37.5, we changed to 50
But
this year,
here's my thought on it. I understand what you're trying to do,
Yeah.
Dave, but a truck is something we're gonna be replacing on a regular
Oh,
basis.
Yep,
It seems to me we might be better off to use some of this ARPA money maybe to do some work up there in Swanton Hill. If something comes to fruition, and that could be quite expensive, and we don't have a lot of money left.
but we put money in the budget to do that work on Swanton Hill.
I don't think you got enough to take that corner and all that out in there, do you? You don't know yet.
Some thousand in there,
How much, yeah, but you
Yeah.
think that's gonna do that entire job?
should be, we should be able to do other than blasting the work ourselves.
Well, I don't know, I mean, I would just rather see that ARPA money go towards things, that are one-time expenses.
Well, this
This
is
is not
really-
really, no, it isn't, you're gonna be replacing a truck every 5 years. We have to
Yeah.
plan on having a budget that's sustainable enough to do that.
Well, we're gonna, that 50,
Because we're not gonna have ARPA money all the
that
time.
50 may have to become 75
Yeah.
or something too.
Exactly, oh yeah, no, I get it, yeah. But my concern, and I'm gonna say it flat out, when we had this ARPA funds, I said from the beginning, some of that money's gonna have to go to the highway department. We got a lot of projects, a
Well,
lot
I
of
agree
things.
100% that probably most of what's left should go to the highway department, but I think it should go for road improvement projects.
Okay, so we'll take the money.
That's
that
just
we
my
set aside
opinion,
to
yeah.
road improve it and put it towards the truck. I mean, one or the other, I mean,
Well, the board would have to make that decision, I'm just
Well,
giving
that's
you
where we're at,
what I
so.
think might be a better way of utilizing that money.
How long is it gonna take for that truck to come this time?
won't be until 24. Yeah, you won't see it if you ordered it, if you ordered it today, you won't
That's
see it.
okay, Pat.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, no, and that's what we're starting this process now, because it takes a year and a half to get the truck.
Yeah, because
So-
of the rigmarole you went through last time.
Yeah, this one's a little different, right? We're buying the truck and they're putting the body on it, and it's their problem.
Done deal.
Well, it's gonna be all
Package deal.
one company doing
One
that.
company doing it, under their nose, so.
Now, as a question, you say every 5 years we have to buy a new truck. I've been on the board for less than 5 years, and this will be the second truck that we purchased. Why is it so close to the last truck we purchased?
Well, it took longer to get the last one than originally. So when I first got on the board 8 years ago, we bought the 2015. And we bought the 2020. That's a 2020 truck that we had just got.
Right.
So now this will be a 24 truck, so it's it'll be almost 5 years, it'll be 4 years.
So the 15 will be taken out of,
No, 15, we'll still have the 15, 2012 we're gonna get rid of, so.
oh, okay.
The international that we have issues with, so.
Sorry for talking out of line, but.
No, that's all right.
I think we're on the right path.
Yeah, I mean, and as I said, you can wait another year, but it'll probably be $300,000 next year.
Right. the
You
way
know,
things
I mean,
are.
the cab chassis of the other one, I think we paid 115,000 without looking, so, I mean, you're going up almost $45,000
Yeah, they're not gonna
in
go
a
down.
couple of years.
That's just the cab and chassis?
Yeah, the 261,000 is complete truck,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a penalty for waiting,
yeah, that's the thing, you know.
substantial penalty.
Yeah. So, and there is another option with the truck, with extended warranty. You don't have to purchase extended warranty till you get the truck and buy it, until it's received. But I really think that's something we should look at. And it's like $14,000 for the whole extended warranty, but you don't have to buy the whole thing, you can buy pieces of it. But I think with all the emissions issues on all these trucks, that we should at least get the one on the engine. And there's 5 different breakdowns, there's one for the engine, and then one for the truck coverage, and the transmission, and the front axles are warranty, and there's a towing one. It comes up to $14,000.
The wear and tear they go through just plowing,
Mhm.
it's worth the money, I think.
That's a 7-year bumper to bumper warranty, 7-year 100,000 miles. We won't hit the 100,000 miles in 7 years.
No.
That's really not a bad deal.
No, it's not,
Now,
yeah.
question for you, James. Have we ever purchased a warranty with our truck?
We haven't, no, it was offered the last Western Star we bought, but.
And the reason I'm asking you this, it's important that I put this on the table.
Mhm.
My 40-plus years in the car business,
Yeah.
and I dealt with more warranty companies than I care to talk about tonight, and there weren't one of them that was worth the paper they were written on. And that concerns me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's even the
The
factory.
$14,000 sounds like a bargain,
Yeah,
but here's the problem that I always ran into.
yeah,
What's covered on page 1 is excluded on page 2.
oh yeah, I know, and I'm not a huge fan of it either, but,
So,
yeah.
so give me an example. I remember selling a vehicle, and the woman had the bumper-to-bumper warranty for 3 years. A year in, the motor went. Oh, so that's no problem, you're covered. So put in the claim to the warranty company, so they get a call back, and he says, well, what caused it to go? I don't know. Well, we gotta know what caused it to go. So we went through our process, and it turned out the water pump failed. Now, the water pump ain't covered, so therefore, the motor wasn't covered.
Nice, yeah,
This is,
yeah. And this is, warranty from Western Star.
Yeah, it's not from Charlie Boys.
It's not Charlie Boys, it's not a sub-company, it is from Charlie Boys, I mean, from Western Star, yeah.
you know, if I,
And this isn't something that has, like I said, doesn't have to be decided today, you got till next summer.
no,
Before we get
but
the
what I'm
truck.
saying is if Charlie Boyce was warrantying the truck, I might be more apt to
Yeah,
buy it,
yeah.
but otherwise, I don't have a good feeling
No,
about it.
we've never bought one yet, so, I mean.
And I realize how expensive it is. I mean, we've seen some of the bills on some of these trucks, but.
Yeah. And they aren't, well, granted, the 2015 that we've had a lot of issues with that, you know,
The 2015 International or Western Star?
It's international.
So the two international, we got two internationals left.
We got two internationals left, the single axle and the tandem. The tandem we're gonna
You're
get rid
killing
of.
us in repairs.
Yeah, knock on wood, the tandem's been held together for the last year, they haven't had an issue with it, but.
Well, I don't have a problem with ordering the truck, I guess,
Yeah.
but
No.
we got a year and a
Well-
half to do it.
Do it.
Whether,
But I think we need to agree on how we're gonna pay for it before we make a vote to.
Well, if we came up short, we've got a good credit rating, we could borrow some money and finance it over a certain period of time. So I think we can always cover it.
So what do you wanna do? Do you wanna just go ahead and order the truck and you guys are gonna decide down the road how you're gonna pay for it?
Yeah, we can blame it on you, James.
No, I didn't blame it all on me, but I laid it out on the table, so.
James said we'd have enough money and he's not here, so.
That's awesome.
Alright, well, I'll entertain a motion to purchase the Western Star from Charlie Boys for $261,567.
alright, I'll move with, and to make sure that the
Oh.
motion,
Hold on a second, I read the wrong amount. 261,150. Let me move on with stickies, make sure I got the right exact penny here.
261, 150?
Yep, the total would be 261,150.
okay, I'll move that we, go ahead and order that truck from Charlie Boys, and that, with the understanding that truck is complete.
Yep.
Body, plow, everything.
Everything,
So it's gonna be a turnkey thing.
that's right.
I'll second it.
Alright, any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks for your work
Thank
on
you,
that,
guys.
James, that's a lot of work.
It sure is a lot of work. Yeah, yeah, mine and Kevin's, so.
You're gonna miss it.
Yeah, I will miss it, but boy, I won't miss all the extra work if you do that. It's paying pretty good. So, okay, so hay mulcher, we were able to find one cheaper through Flinders, for $6,920.
Okay, gotta ask you about that.
Yeah.
Does that one have a motor too, or is it gonna be running off your tractor?
Nope, has no motor, yep.
How big a motor?
Who got this, Ben?
Oh, early.
Is it comparable?
It's comparable, the only, they had one that was kind of the exact of what we've got priced from Franklin Renault was 9,000 and something, then they had this other brand one. Only difference is that the other brand one's a little more compact, this one's got the blower on the outside. For what we're gonna use it for, $3,000 is well worth the savings, so.
Okay, and then we had some kind of, grant money that was coming in.
There's a grant for $4,720 to put towards it, which, once we get the mulches, she might have a little more money in there, which Bethany told me, so. So I just entertain a motion that we go ahead and order that, mulcher from Foothill for the $6,920.
I second.
Alright, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it.
Noted that I abstained from the
Okay.
vote.
Alright,
Even though I asked them questions, I wanted to make sure that they weren't trying to take advantage of it. I know them boys.
alright, yeah. Yeah, so, one more thing that I didn't put on there, road paving. So I talked to Kevin. What you got there?
Well, that's coming up for the.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. So, road paving for this year, Lakewood Drive, Campbell's Bay Road, Homestead Drive, which is over off Hog Island, Reynolds Road, Swanton Hill Road, and Lord Road. That comes out to 4.34 miles of road.
So they're not doing the fleet road, they're doing portions here and there.
Lakewood Drive is 1.2 miles, I believe that's the whole thing. Campbell's Bay is 1.6 miles,
That might be.
that's the whole thing. And 0.24 is, Homestead, which I think that's the whole thing, it's not a very big
Yeah,
road.
it's not a big, yeah.
Reynolds Road isn't very long anyways, it's only 0.5, and if we don't pave it this year, we're going back to gravel, because it's pretty bad.
What was that last one again?
Reynolds.
Reynolds Road, up on the backside of French Hill, it's 0.5. And Swanton Hill Road is 0.46, which is right there near the Reynolds Road. And then Lord Road is 0.65 miles. It's 4.34. That's, I think we put 350,000 in the paving budget.
What is that costing us per mile?
Well, that's where I was just gonna get at. You're probably 100,000 a mile, I would say today. Somewhere's in there. It used to be 90,000, the old figure, I would say at least 100,000 a mile.
So it comes out to 400.
413, 400, yeah. 4 a month, Jesus, 4.34 miles it comes out to be. We'll get it out of there eventually. So, I mean, it could be 450, 500,000, if you put all these roads out to bid.
Well, we probably
So-
won't be doing all of
No, unless we find the money somewhere else to pave that, so. Yeah. But that was my other question, if you wanted to use some ARPA funds to put towards that. That was my other thought.
Do we have a reserve fund for the road repair, road repaving?
Well, we have 350,000 in our budget for road paving, which we went around to that, we raised it this year, we realize it's still not enough to keep up with the amount of roads that we gotta pave in a year. So,
Want a motion? Or is it an info?
well, it's information, but I don't know if we really need a motion on it tonight, but it is something we need to move forward with. As I said to Kevin today, something we need to get worked on, get it out, ready to put out to bid in March, April. So if you get it out early, get the bids back, improve it, and as soon as they roll in the spring, ours will get paved. If you wait till May, June to get it out to bid,
It's
and then
delayed.
state work comes out, we'll be in October again.
Right.
Well, we can
So-
go ahead and get, no
Yeah.
problem getting it out to bid,
Mhm.
we can decide how we're gonna pay for it, or maybe we might have to back off.
Yeah,
We can make that decision, that can all, let's go ahead and get it started.
yeah,
We'll
and
get
I
the
just,
bids.
the only thing I wanna be sure we're gonna pave those roads, because they get a little ugly when they bid something, and then we just change things afterwards, then the price is gonna go up, so they bid it by volume, so, you know. Just be aware that it's gonna be a little more than 350,000, so you may
Yeah,
have to
we had
take
the
some.
same boat last year.
We did have that same boat, so.
And we did have to back off.
We did, yeah, I mean, the Swanton Hill and the Reynolds Road, as long as you're gonna do the straightening of the Swanton Hill Road this year and then pave it and do that, it would be fine to pave it all, but if you're not gonna straighten the road this year, I wouldn't go pave that and then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that might be an option, but we did put the money in there to help get that straightened out, fix that long existing problem. So, I guess I'll entertain a motion to, we'll go ahead and put these roads out to bid.
So move them.
Alright, get a second on it? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. There, thank you.
Okay, what, my turn now?
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even
What
see it,
you've got in-
we're on to see the driveway.
What you've got in front of you is, and I'm sorry it's so small.
Oh, yeah.
but This is the
You have magnifying glass?
driveway, I blew this up too.
It's fine.
The driveway
Yeah.
into the town garage, right here, okay?
Yep.
Now, the shaded areas there, that's the existing width of the driveway,
Yeah.
which, under state regulations, is too wide, way too wide,
Yeah.
because the sidewalk is gonna be going through there. So, where it's shaded is, it'll be a 40-foot wide driveway.
Yeah,
Now, as an experiment, they, about a month or so ago, they came and put cones up. So, and the cones are still there, they haven't been knocked over, so I assume they've been,
yeah,
and I haven't had a chance to talk to Kevin, but I don't think there's been any problem, I haven't heard anything. So the trucks can get in and out, that'll make, it's the state regulation, so. it's
are they
40
really proposing to put an island in the middle of that?
No,
Okay,
that was
thank God.
another option.
Alright, well, see, that's
said
not
I
gonna work
didn't-
for the salt trucks.
No, I said, I don't like that.
No.
And I said, I'm not a truck driver by any stretch of the
I've talked to
imagination, but I
Kevin
don't
about
like
it,
that.
and he said they can make it work, it's
Yeah.
not the end of the road,
So,
so.
that's,
Yeah.
so they're just looking for an answer, and so I
Yeah.
just wanted to.
I think it's
all right, okay, that's all I had.
Yeah,
This has to do with the sidewalks, right?
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
Alright. I guess that's it for Highland. Yeah. Oh, general orders. General orders, 1/1, is that where we're starting? Yeah, sure. Entertain a motion for general orders from 1/1/23 to 2/16/23.
I'll make a motion to accept the general orders from 1/1/23 to 2/16/2023.
Alright. A second on that?
I'll second it.
Alright, take discussion. I did ask Brian about the leader audit that we got charged $3,000 for. See if we're gonna get something out of leader for this, cause we weren't technically obligated to pay that, so. Or reimbursed. Yeah. I think we're all good. Anybody got any questions?
Nope.
No.
Alright, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next. Highway orders 1/1/23 to 2/16/23, enter motion to approve that.
I make a motion to approve the highway orders dated 1/1/23 to 2/16/23.
Second? Second. Alright, yeah, I need a second look at them. Any questions? Alright, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
So we gotta approve the general orders for 12.1.
Yeah, is that another stack?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll finish these and go back out.
Yeah.
Library orders 1/1/23 to 2/16/23, and then entertain a motion to approve them.
I make a motion to approve the library orders 1/1/23 to 2/16/23.
Second.
Alright, any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And that bill on there for Bros was to fix the elevator issue, so. Payroll orders 1/1/23 to 2/16/23.
I make a motion to accept
Yeah, make a motion, go ahead.
I make a motion to accept the payroll orders 1/1/23 to 2/16/23.
A second?
I'll second it.
Alright, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let's have it. We got another stack somewhere here, Captain.
Yes.
I don't have it for some reason.
General orders for
Yeah, the other stack. I don't know why I don't have them. Oh, I probably have them there in file
Let's
somewhere.
see. No, sorry, give them to you.
Yeah, I don't see one on it.
There might be an else.
Anyways, general orders 12/21/22 to 12/31/22. We have a motion to approve them.
Steve votes, I'll second it.
Alright, any discussion? Think we're good. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, ayes have it. Highway orders 12/21/22 to 12/31/22. Your motion on those?
I'll move.
Second?
I'll second.
Alright, any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Library orders 12/21/22 to 12/31/22. Motion on them.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Second. Alright, any other discussion? And that is a annual maintenance contract for Alliance for the library, and no discussion on that. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Payroll orders 12/21/22 to 12/31/22. Motion on those.
I'll move.
Second.
Second.
Alright, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, ayes have it. Done. Any other necessary business?
I just had a question, more of a curiosity. I noticed that somebody was down at the rig. If you wanna go there, it's time's getting short.
Oh.
But the doors were open and they were going on inside, I think it was today or yesterday. When did they take that down? Was it yesterday?
I think because I had somebody else mention it.
Are they removing the asbestos or is that done?
I'm not sure what they're up to
Yeah.
now, I'm surprised that.
Somebody's got an answer out here.
It'll be coming down soon,
Yeah.
by April.
Well,
The
it's supposed to-
asbestos abatement's supposed to begin in the beginning of March, and the building's supposed to be down by the end of April, according to the
Yeah.
trustee meeting.
Thank you, I was just curious, you're buying every day.
Yeah.
The only doors are wide open, I didn't know if it was.
Go ahead, Cody. You want, go ahead.
I would, if anybody wants to go, I would definitely go through bill sheets because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a huge liability. Because if you walk inside,
Oh.
before I got done the village, I walked in and it is not safe
No, it's pretty sad.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
So just caution.
That used to be the jewel of the community.
Yeah.
That was just a,
No, it's another story.
If you were in Franklin County on New Year's Eve and didn't go to the ridge, you didn't go out. That is the truth.
I see pictures.
I've heard some stories.
I bet.
tickets are easy to get right now.
Before your days, Cody.
Yeah,
Way
I
before
know
my
about
days.
that.
Before my days, but.
Yeah, my dad's had a few stories.
There you go.
Last one.
Yes, right?
I got no more.
Last one,
You just signed the last order.
sign the last order.
Correspondence.
We don't have
None tonight. Wow, that's unusual. Public comment. You got anything to add? You started?
I just wanna
Cody,
thank
then
you,
you. Yeah.
James, for
Yeah.
all your years of service and
Thank you, I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well
I would also like
You
to
took the
thank
words
you.
out of my mouth. And I also had, just out of curiosity, do you think it's ever gonna go back to the old town meeting style for Swanton? Do you think we would get more voters to show up?
I don't think so.
I mean,
Yeah.
we saw how last year went for the amount of voters we have.
Yeah,
It was shit for results. Excuse my language. but
yeah.
That's
For the
what-
informational meeting, you mean, or the amount of
Yeah,
voters that go out?
Anything that we have put out there for voters,
it's
like
a
with the
tough thing.
cannabis shop, you know, and all that. I think
You
that-
got 6,000 plus voters and 1,500, maybe on something.
On a good day,
1,500 to
Yeah.
show up, yeah.
That's nothing.
But,
Yeah.
you know, as far as having the old fashioned town meeting, it's,
Yeah.
you won't,
Highgate's
you'll be lucky to
talking
get
about over there, so.
300 people would be a
Yeah.
big turnout. So
Well,
I don't
No,
know.
you
So it's not, I'm just wondering,
Probably
it's gonna
20.
increase. it would
She said,
increase.
yeah, someone told me the other day, Highgate's, they're lucky if they get 50 people that come,
Yeah.
they're actually.
Is it that low for Highgate?
Yeah.
What's that?
That's not low for
Yeah,
Highgate?
that's what they were telling me the other day, I went to a meeting and they said they're lucky.
See, I used to go to Sheldon's,
Yeah.
because I was their state representative, and,
Yeah.
they had probably 100.
Mhm.
But, you know, it depended if there was something controversial or not.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a lot of it, the voting is.
A lot of bickering and shit, you know?
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
Alright,
Certainly.
All right,
that's all I have.
Just two
Yeah.
quick things. I don't know if I'll be here at the next meeting when you're officially done or anything, but I did want to say, James, I really appreciate what you did, what you do. This is, you're self-employed, so when you're down here, you're not billing anybody.
that's right, that's right.
It's coming out of your
It's tough.
back pocket,
Yeah.
and you spend a significant amount of time here, and it's gonna be hard to fill your shoes, so I
I
really
appreciate that.
appreciate how hard you
Appreciate
work.
that, so,
The only other thing about the budget, I served on the Missisquoi board at 2 different times.
yeah,
And one time, the only person that came to the meeting was, we had a policeman, a deputy, because we thought somebody was gonna raise hell.
yeah,
He was the only one there.
Yeah.
So we talked to each other, and that
Yeah.
was it, so.
yeah.
Did you still have to pay him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, thank you, James.
All right.
Good
I
job.
appreciate it, so I thank all of you for allowing me to serve for the last 8 years, and it's been a great pleasure, so. I'm
Well,
gonna
I
miss it.
also have to add, James,
Yeah.
that I certainly understand the situation you're in, and it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And it puts a lot of stress on
It
you.
sure does,
Uh,
it sure does,
And
yeah,
so, you know, you gotta be pretty dedicated to the community to do it for as long as you have done it.
yeah,
You know, I thank you.
I appreciate
I
that.
thank you as well. I really appreciate all of the service that you've given to our community.
Thank you, so.
8 years, you said?
A year, yeah, just shy of a year, so I had a couple little stint in between there, but we're not very long. Yeah,
Well, I thank you, James, you dragged me in here, and I thought we had a thing, you know,
yeah,
standing commitment that we were gonna stay together, but I will forgive you.
yeah, yeah.
This evening anyway, right?
Tonight, yeah.
Yeah, so. All right.
But you need to come and vote.
Appreciate it. Oh, by all Al's vote, don't you worry about that.
Okay.
Yes, he's coming.
I could
Yeah.
use, I could use 2-3 of your votes and just come back.
Let's not start that.
No, we won't allow that to happen.
Yeah, but I will cast my one vote, so.
Just say
Yeah.
vote Republican and vote often.
Yeah, exactly, there you
That
go.
one vote could matter though.
Alright, that is for public comment. Alright, upcoming events, Monday, February 20th, President's Day, town office operations will be closed. Tuesday, February 28th, joint town and village informational meeting at the village complex at 7 PM. Please come and attend. Tuesday, March 7th, town meeting day, polls are open from 7 to 7. Village complex, 120 First Street. Wednesday, March 8th, select board meeting, 7 PM. Town offices that's a special select board meeting, it's gonna be just reorganizational meeting, is that? Yeah.
Yeah,
So the chief's not gonna be here.
right, it'll just be.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That was
I wanted
good.
to clarify that for you, because
We'll-
that's just the way it goes.
Who's gonna be
We'll
there?
make another date.
Right.
Wednesday, March 8th, joint planning and DRB meeting at here at the town office at 6:30. Again, that's Wednesday, March 8th, so.
Yep.
I don't think we need executive session or anything, do we?
No.
Everybody good? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Alright, a second?
I'll second.
Alright, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, we're adjourned at,
What?
8, I can't even, 8:38. Yeah, 8:38 is good to me.
Alright.
We covered a lot of information quickly, didn't we?
That's a record.
We did.